There's a couple of studies that I'm referencing in here. So, the first one says organizations that promote more pro-diversity cultures, specifically treatment of women and minorities, enhance future innovative efficiency. Furthermore, these organizations have greater growth, higher cash flow, and stronger governance. Um, and the other one that's done by McKinsey found that companies in the top quartile of gender diversity were 15% more likely to have financial returns that were above the national industry median. Companies who had greater diversity, particularly around gender, those companies were overrepresented in the top quartile of um, organizations that were performing above the national industry median. Countries in the top quartile of racial and ethnic diversity were 35% more likely to have financial returns above their national industry median. And companies in the bottom quartile for both gender and ethnicity or race were statistically less likely to achieve above average financial returns. So not only were they not leading, they were actually lagging behind. Um, there's, and this is just one snapshot. The data overwhelmingly shows that diverse workforces that manage that really well, not having strong inclusion strategies, strong inclusion frameworks, protocols in place, overwhelmingly perform better than those that don't. And anecdotally, it makes sense because diversity is really about just representing who we are as a society. And if our workforce is representative of our society, it makes sense that it's going to have an overwhelmingly better outcome. So we know that diversity, the researcher shows us that diversity has a better effect on the bottom line, has a better effect on the bottom line, I should say. Diversity also enhances the workplace environment because, as I said, diverse teams reflect diverse communities. So if you've got a team that is reflective of your community, your team is going to understand your community better. So that means they're going to understand your end users, your customers, your clients, your key stakeholders better than a team that is not diverse and is not representative of those end users or communities or clients. And of course, the best talent are attracted to organizations that are inclusive, organizations that embrace diversity, because again, there's a correlation between organizations that embrace diversity and inclusion and open-mindedness and an appetite to be progressive and future orientated. So you're going to be an attractive proposition for someone who has a lot to offer. And of course, if you've got a better balance, if you've got greater diversity, you're going to have a better balanced team. So you're not all going to have one type. So a team of Tony Pans, hopefully it will be a strong team, but there'll be a strong team only in one part of the spectrum. The rest of the spectrum might be underrepresented. So even though we may be really good at this particular thing, we may have a heap of blind spots or weaknesses in other areas. A diverse team will help to balance that out. A diverse team will means that you spread the strength and talent pool out further. So you tend to have a greater spectrum of strengths, which means that you have potentially a smaller spectrum of weaknesses, because each of those strengths will hopefully counterbalance out the weaknesses. And diverse teams are better problem solvers because they're constantly learning from each other. So it goes back to this point I said before. Inclusive and diverse workplaces are open-minded, generally because we are open-minded to difference and we're working towards inclusion of those differences. That means that we're also constantly learning from that experience. We're open-minded about constantly learning and we don't shut our minds off. So the the research and the data also shows that diverse teams have performed better at solving problems, particularly around products and services. So, and that ties in with some of these other points about understanding the community. So, because none of these really stand alone, you as a business, you service a product or you provide a product or a service. Your clients or end users have an issue, and it might be that there's a gap in what you're providing. A diverse team that has a greater spectrum of strengths and is more open-minded is more likely to find a solution to that quicker. So they all kind of tie in together. So I've been banging on about strengths, and this is really a critical point in terms of the benefits of inclusion, because diversity and inclusion brings a broad range of strengths to the team in the workplace. And as I mentioned, this helps uh, to negate and to counterbalance weaknesses within the team, because each person is different, and that difference means that we approach each problem, each task, each interaction from a different perspective, different knowledge, different experience, different attitudes, and different abilities. And if we have a workplace that is collaborative by nature, is open-minded, and encourages sharing of ideas, and you get people working together, that means that we have more to bring to the table, more in the mix to deal with those problems. So each person will bring their strengths that they can leverage to assess the team in seeing things in new ways, challenging established norms, expanding and enhancing capability to help the team perform better. And this goes back to some of the themes, other themes within the diploma around, for example, innovation. So if we have a diverse team and we have a diverse mix of strengths, that's going to help us to really come at problems in particular from different angles. So a strengths-based approach to diversity is really about focusing on the strengths that the individuals bring to the team and assigning responsibilities aligned to those strengths. And when we talk more about learning development and education and promoting, this is really where the greatest benefit comes in saying, diversity is good for us team when you're a leader and a manager and you're promoting diversity. Say internally, you're saying diversity is good for us and inclusion is good for us because we're going to bring a better mix, and that mix is going to help us to perform better. Understanding that we all have strengths, but that new ideas, new strengths that complement ours. It's not about making me obsolete by bringing in something new. It's about being able for me to complement somebody and for someone to complement me, so that together we can be stronger and more effective at what we do. So, I just talked about promoting those benefits of diversity, but that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to not only be diverse, accepting of diversity and inclusive in the way that we operate and our business, but we also want to be able to promote those benefits both internally and externally. So we want to promote them internally. We really want to let the team know why we're doing this and why it's important. And I'll talk more about the cultural aspect of that shortly in terms of workplace culture. But we really do want to let people know that what we're doing is important because it's actually going to make us stronger. So that would be promoting internally, but also in promoting externally. We will need to let our community know that we value diversity, because that also has benefits. So if we look at, what are the benefits, if you've got a good reputation within your industry, within your local community of being an employer of choice, you're open-minded, you're progressive, your workforce is representative of the broader community, you're going to people are going to want to work there, because your reputation is about an organization that is progressive, that's future oriented, that's open-minded. And this means things such as innovative. You're going to have innovative ideas and practices. And we've talked about that in the innovation unit as being something that is really important. You're going to have a reputation that of a workplace that values collaboration and idea sharing. inclusive workplaces are also workplaces that value teamwork, that value collaboration, that value idea sharing. An organization that works with other organizations and local communities to improve employment outcomes and support people from underrepresented groups. So you focus on the importance of the sustainability of your community. And when we talk about sustainability, of course, social responsibility is one of the pillars of that, about being sustainable within your community. And that includes also having your team represent your broader community as well. So often as organizations, it's about, sometimes um, making sure that there are opportunities for people who traditionally may be underrepresented. But there's also the aspect of not only attracting high quality workforce, but also attracting high quality customers or end users, because they want to deal with our business. When they look at our workforce, our workforce is representative of them. So, if we've got a diverse workforce and it represents the broader community, that broader community wants to do business with us because we are representative of the broader community. Our Whether they're suppliers or customers or clients or end users, whatever our business is and what we do, our external people are going to look at our business and go, they value inclusion, and we're a diverse stakeholder in this as well. So it gives me confidence that they value us as well. So you become a more attractive proposition to your external stakeholders, such as your clients and so forth.